Hello, Aaron here. Welcome to this Mastermind Community Training session. And this session is going to set the stage for everything you do in building or growing your business, I promise, whether with me, somebody else in the future, your current business, your future business, or 10 businesses from now if you're Richard Branson. I promise you that this foundational work is the most important thing to nail. So there's going to be homework. You're going to complete some frameworks and hopefully upload these to the mastermind community so we can give you feedback and make sure you've really nailed these 4 frameworks. We're going to discuss the foundation of your marketing, which is the single most important part of all of your marketing. It affects everything you do, every ad, blog post, sales letter, website, business card, everything you put out there really comes down to this: how well you communicate your ability to transform one person, one client's situation, problem, or life with confidence. That's the foundation. We're going to talk about marketing recon and the perfect offer. And I really want you to go deep and take 20, 30 minutes, an hour on each one of these frameworks. Go really deep and once again, upload them so we can make sure you get off on the right foot. And you should have already done the marketing roadmap, which is your 90-day roadmap we covered during your triage call and strategy session. If not, you can find the training on that. Let me know and I'll get it to you. But the bottom line is this: most small businesses and marketers suffer from weak messaging. Weak messaging, which means that even though we know messaging is the most important part of your marketing, is really to match up the needs of one specific customer to your solution, most marketers are focused on other things. We're working on traffic, landing pages, social media, content marketing, and guess what? You're probably getting poor results because 99% of your success is going to rely on how well you nail this, yet most people just want to skip over it. I talk to clients all the time that say, yeah, I got that stuff. I already know my avatar. Yeah. I already have a message in USP. But you know what? You don't. You don't have a unique framework for articulating your unique ability to transform the lives of your clients and focus on a single target market. So really important point here. I need you to do this exercise, the frameworks we're going to cover in this training, with one single target market. So if you sell 100 different products to different people, if you are a service provider, doctor, lawyer, dentist, veterinarian, chiropractor, and you serve maybe athletes and then the elderly, I want you to do this whole exercise, this whole funnel, these whole frameworks, just for one of those avatars at a time. Super important. Some tools that you'll need during this training. In the membership community site, I need you to download a couple things: both avatar worksheets, the total market ecosystem, which I'll show you in a moment, the client transformation credo, and your client transformation framework. Now, that was a tongue twister, but I want you to physically fill out each of these forms. You can't just gloss over this training. I've done that 100 times, and I've wasted thousands of dollars doing that. You have to slow down, really go deep and do it. It will be enlightening if you take the time to do it. So download those frameworks from the membership site. And once again, after you've completed them, upload them. We can talk about them in the community and during coaching calls. If I sound a little bit like Barry White, it's because I have a cold. So we'll be okay as long as I have some Ricola standing by. Market recon. Okay, this is really important. The first thing we're going to do is try to gain a deep understanding, deeper than you have now, of one single avatar, which is your ideal client. We need to be able to clearly articulate their needs, desires, dreams, as well as their pains, frustrations, and fears. So if you think about it, we really want to look at, and I'll show you a visual in the framework in a moment, 2 things. What are they moving away from in the short term? What are they moving toward in the short term? And what are the long-term implications? What happens if they don't take action? What are the biggest fears or worst symptoms, or going out of business, losing your home, losing your lover, getting diabetes, passing away? I mean, there's some, depending on what kind of service you provide, we need to look at both the short-term fears, frustrations, long-term fears, and then the short-term, what are they going towards, right? So we're going to do that. The result of that is super powerful. You need to take your marketing and messaging from anonymous, which is what most people are doing right now. They have a shotgun approach, blasting out messaging, hoping for a response with bland, uninspiring messaging, and it causes a lack of results, lack of opt-ins, lack of leads, lack of customers, because you're just saying, hey, I'm a lawyer, I can help you with this, or you're another XYZ. So we want to really put you into a market of one. So the first step we're going to cover here is how to take you from anonymous to intimate, the bottom line with intimacy is that you have to be able to articulate your clients' wants, needs, desires better than they can themselves, as a friend of mine and fellow member of the mastermind here, Jeff Moore, would say. Henry Ford once said, if I would have asked my clients what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse, not a car, right? So your clients don't know what they need. You have to take ownership in a leadership position of authority. Sometimes they think they know what they need, and they can be bullish about it. And that's when you're going to have the confidence to push back and say, maybe this isn't a good fit, because I have a specific framework, a specific system from getting you from point A, your ultimate frustration, to point B, the ultimate outcome that you want. And I've done it before, and I know exactly what you should be doing. And if you drink this Kool-Aid, we're going to get you there, right? So all your clients want is to be led down a clear path by someone they trust. So let's break that down. All your clients want is to be led down a clear path. Well, that's your framework we're going to cover in a moment, by someone they trust. So we just want the peace of mind knowing there's a system for that. Cool. I don't have to worry and think and doubt. All I have to do is follow these instructions from someone that's been there. Cool. Let's do it. So let's start with the first question and the first framework, which is this. Who is your avatar? Now, there's two parts that we're going to go deep on. The first is some of the things you've heard of a lot, which are demographics, psychographics. But we need to stop and do this, because with the world of Facebook advertising and all of the data that's available through their partner data aggregators, we can really get a lot more traction than our competitors by knowing simple things about our avatar, what groups they hang out with, what membership sites or forums they belong to, what media sites that they follow. Demographics are real simple things. Like we're going to talk about their demographics, psychographics, name, gender, age, location. So I want you to write this down. I want you to actually, again, print this out, or if you're using a tablet or something in your computer, I literally want you to fill this out. I want you to write down the name, gender, age, location, income, marital status at the very minimum, and then psychographics, interests, activities, opinions, and behaviors. So think about this. Where do your customers that you don't have yet, where do your ideal customers hang out online? What forums, groups, pages do they like? You can use Facebook Open Graph, Wisdom, which is an app for Facebook. You can use SEMrush. We'll cover tools later as we talk about traffic and how to do Facebook advertising and search engine optimization and content marketing. But for now, you should know this stuff, right? Because your whole reason you're in business is to solve a problem that exists, not create a product and try to find someone to buy it. So you need to really take the time to write this down. Once you've done that, and of course you haven't skipped over it, we want to talk about your avatar's goals and frustrations. This is the real important stuff that separates six-figure from seven-figure, eight-figure marketers, is how well you can articulate their pains, frustrations, both short and long term, and like I said before, what they're going toward and away from. So I want you to look at this, and I want you to examine this. I want to walk you through it, and I want you to fill it out. There's two axes here. If you go up and down, there's now and eventual, and then horizontally, there's away and toward. Now, this is really powerful because this represents time and movement. So what are their pains in the short term that turn into their fears and implications in the long term? And on the right side, in the upper right-hand corner, what are their current goals and desires? What do they want? What are they looking for? Think about that. What problem, what itch does your product or service scratch in the short term? And down the road, what's the real big win and transformation that they get from that? So let's just slow this down a little bit and look in the upper left-hand corner. And I want you to write down the current pains and frustrations. So when you upload your avatars, we'll talk about this on the next several coaching calls. You'll have questions about this. I'll look at yours. But just think about it. Let's talk about doesn't matter what you provide, legal services, a gym, dating advice. It doesn't matter what your area of expertise is. They come to you with either a perceived pain in the short term. What are those pains and frustrations right now? Let's say you're a web designer, right? Their current pains and frustrations are maybe lack of traffic and leads, right? They're not getting any traffic and leads, and maybe they're confused by their current website. They have tech overwhelm. They're frustrated, right? down below, well, what's going to happen if they don't deal with those pains and frustrations? What's the long-term outcome of them not taking action? What's the worst that could happen in the long term? Well, they could go out of business. They could overwork themselves. They can get stressed out. They can have emotional and physical and financial issues. They can miss out on opportunities. They can stifle their career and their personal development. Right? This is big stuff. There's no product or service that doesn't have a big long-term implication. On the right, let's get more positive here. Upper right, goals and desires. What do they want? At the end of the day, all they're trying to get, even if there's more to it, even if they don't understand the real implications, even if they're wrong in what their goals are, what are the current goals communicated by your clients? So they might say, well, I just want, let's use the web designer thing. I just want more traffic and leads, or I just want to pay less money for my website and have a website that I think looks professional and generates leads. Well, what's the long-term dream and aspiration they have? What's the long-term implication if they use your service and satisfy their goals? Well, they're going to be able to grow their business and sell their business and have freedom and have balance in their lives and maybe be financially, emotionally healthy and have a better personal life and be able to live the life of their dreams and travel. Like, what do they want to do? Why are they in business? And how does your service or product help satisfy that? So this is really important. Now, I want to say that a lot of times what people do when I say that you glaze over this stuff is you look at it and you go, yeah, but I sell paintings, or I sell motorcycle jeans, or I sell coffee cups and consumer goods. Well, I don't think there's any product or service. I'd like you to challenge me on that when you upload yours or you have questions. If you sell paintings, for example, I think Jeff Walker covered this as a really good example. Someone said, I sell paintings. Well, paintings of what? Intimate landscapes and kind of romantic paintings. And I just sell paintings, they buy it and they leave. They're $500 and that's it. Well, think about it. What do the paintings help their family and intimacy? Could it help bridge differences in a relationship? Could help them get more intimate and really trigger them to get closer to their partners. Maybe they hang a painting in their bedroom and create a family and live the life of their dreams. Like maybe they're depressed. Maybe they're frustrated because they're not motivated. They're not inspired. They're not positive. So I really want you to go through this and really, really articulate short and long-term pains, frustrations, goals, desires, dreams, aspirations. Fill this out and upload it. So if you want to stop the video now, which I highly recommend, you fill this out and then we'll move on. The next thing I want to do is cover your avatar's life cycle. This is something that few business owners do. We're always so reactive with our face, our hand in front of our face, trying to deal with the next customer, serve that next order, get that next client, and balance our lives, not work too much. So we never get an opportunity to zoom out. That's why masterminds like this or workshops are important. If you shut down all distractions and just take a moment to get a different perspective. So what I want to do is have you zoom out and way out. This isn't about you. It's not about your clients, the way you help clients. It's about your client's overall life, way before they meet you. Maybe they haven't before they've been born, and way after they're done with you. Maybe after they've passed away. Way after they've ever come in contact with you. So this is about getting a 30,000-foot perspective on your avatar's life cycle. What is really the big picture of stuff going on here? And it's not about just their buying process, which is simply the timeline of steps related to your business. It's about what happens before they come in contact with your business and after. I want you to think about it. Like, who are the potential JV partners that could be referring you business that you're not tapping into right now? Who are the potential referral partners? Like, what businesses do your clients use after they're done using your products or services, or during, in parallel to? These could be advertising sources, places to get new clients, content ideas. So we're going to give you, I want you to write down examples of your upstream and downstream using the total market ecosystem framework. So here, again, I want you to fill this out, stop the video, and really take the time to fill this out and upload it. I want you to really articulate your client's journey and really think about what are the different milestones of their life. So this might be a little bit confusing, so I want to slow down And in our live workshop, we spent, I think, 45 minutes or an hour just on this. So I want you to do the same. So let me look at the image here and just talk you through it. So say your business is, I like to use the example of something like swim lessons for kids, or maybe an estate planning lawyer, or possibly a personal trainer. Doesn't matter. Let's use swim lessons. You offer swim lessons for kids. Well, if I look at the milestones where I can kind of track my clients before and after swim lessons, that's really easy for a kid, because for a child, I think a kid's actually a goat, because I can know, okay, well, a child's born. Swim lessons start at sometimes 3, 4, 5 years old. So a child's born. I know that. Then there's events where they turn 2 or 3, and then they're in my world. So my business is in the center of this, right? So I could have a timeline. It could be based on life's events. It could be based on years of education. It could be based on milestones. It could be based on karate belts. It doesn't matter. What are the milestones that you can use to measure your clients' overall ecosystem and their experience they go through? If you sell motorcycle jeans, well, maybe they reach a certain age, they buy a motorcycle. So where are they buying motorcycles? That could tell me that they're upstream of me. But back to swim lessons. So if I was to fill this out and say, okay, before they do swim lessons, they buy, the parents purchase a whole lot of baby gear at Bye Bye Baby, Toys R Us, so clothing and toys. So there's a birth that happens. So they're at a birthing center. Then they buy, they join a preschool. So I'm thinking about all the businesses that they would patronize before me. After swim lessons, well, they might get involved in youth sports. They go to school. There's all kinds of stuff, horseback riding lessons. So I really want you to map out the businesses that your clients would use before and after you. And I want you to write the details in the space provided. And then I want you to write in the very bottom of this, you'll see alternatives. So which is, what could your clients do in lieu of yours? So if they don't take swim lessons, they can get swim lessons at home. They could not get swim lessons at all. They could not take action. So your marketing can speak to that. The cost of doing nothing. What else could they buy? Maybe, again, someone can do, they could learn from a parent. So we could talk about why teaching your kids to swim is a bad idea. So think about this. What we're about to cover is putting this all together into your unique offer. And that's why we're doing this first. But just think, just the power of this framework alone, if you can really understand where your clients are going to be hanging out before you, guess what? Your competitors are not thinking this way. They're only thinking about their next client. So you can go and forge relationships and JV partnerships and put educational materials in the hands of these folks, and you can get most of your business, if not a lot of it, from referrals from these influencers, right? So if you're a veterinarian, and you know that most first puppies are purchased in concert with a home, boom, realtors. Or after a marriage, boom, wedding planners. So there's no business that doesn't have a life cycle, where they go before and after you. If you're on a funeral home, you might look at the cigarette stores. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, so fill this out, upload it, and if you have questions about this, you want to upload this into the membership community and ask questions. We'll look at it. And on any coaching call, if you ask questions about this, be prepared to show me yours so I can troubleshoot on the spot. Now we're going to start cooking with gas. We're going to look at the perfect offer. This is the final step in the foundation. And this is really, really powerful, because this is going to be the horse you're going to ride to 7 and 8 figures in your business. This is the mechanism by which you can instantly become a market of one. Most businesses are just commonplace. I'm sorry. But if you go to a cocktail party and someone asks what you do for a living and you say, I'm a bankruptcy lawyer, chiropractor, financial advisor, then you're commoditized. There's a million of you. There's no reason to deal with you uniquely, because you're selling bread or water, right? Most business owners practice what I call Me Too marketing. I do this. I just do bankruptcy. I just do, I'm a chiropractor, and that's not going to really be compelling. You need to be unique. No matter how simple you think your current business is, we can come out with a unique framework that articulates it, that they can only get from you. A specific transformation that's going to make your customers feel completely comfortable with your expertise and ability to help them, and eliminating all buying resistance. So you're going to convey so clearly, with so much trust, that it's a no-brainer to work with you, period. I want you to think about that. Now, you're in the Fletcher Method Mastermind community. You've watched the Fletcher Method webinar. And on one hand, I could have said, oh, online marketing has 75,000 different things you can do, and online marketing is really confusing, and just dumped all these puzzle pieces on a table and said, I'm going to talk to you about marketing. Or I could say, everything you need to do to grow your business can be condensed down into 3 simple steps: foundation, funnel, and floodgates. Let's talk about how to do that. That gives you such a sense of peace to finally have kind of refuge from all the confusion and frustration out there, right? Well, your business should do the same thing. Even if you think you sell something too simple to do that, coffee, books, legal services, that's not true. You have to do this, and it's going to be arguably, or hopefully inarguably, one of the most powerful things you do. So here's how we're going to do that. The first thing is listing their biggest pain and fear. So when you filled out that avatar worksheet and we talked about, what's your client's single biggest fear out there, given all the, you listed several, their biggest pain and fear. And I want you to think about that. If you had to pick one and ride with it, if you had to pick one and write an ad for it, if you had to pick one and really leverage that in all of your marketing for the short term at least, what would that be? And I also want you to articulate and write down right now their greatest goal or desire. If you had to pick one, what's their ultimate dream? It should be one word: freedom, profit, health, love. What is the ultimate thing they're after? For all of us, it's some form of happiness. Every product or service we buy is either moving away from pain or towards ultimate pleasure or happiness. And we need to figure out where in that arc your messaging is going to fall. But the bottom line is, start with listing their biggest pain and fear, their biggest goal or desire. And now we're going to put those together into their total transformation. I really want you to get this right now. I really want you to just stop and think about this. What does point A and point B look like? What is your point A and point B for your customers? Now, depending on what you offer, that should be 2 words. So do you take your customers from frustration to freedom, from pain to flexibility, from lonely to in love, from anonymous to famous? What is point A and point B? This means everything. I really want you to nail this. What is your point A, biggest fear, frustration, point B, biggest goal or dream? We're going to put that together, and these last 2 frameworks, and everything you do is going to depend on how well you nail these 2. Your client transformation credo. This is your $1 million idea. This is your new cocktail party mixer statement, elevator pitch, and this is the good stuff. I really want you to feel this out. So the first thing, as we just said, is write down your client's biggest pain or frustration, then their biggest goal or desire. What's the big win they're going for? What's the only thing that they want when it comes to your business? What is the one thing that makes everything else moot, right? And then thirdly, what's your client's greatest dream or aspiration? Long-term aspiration. What are they trying to do in their lives, right? Okay. This client transformation credo is how you're going to answer everything at a cocktail party. It should be on your business cards, your social media sites, in your content, the calls to action. Everything you do should be answered like this: I help blank achieve or do this so they can accomplish this without that. A, B, C, D. Now let me slow down and examine this. It's not as simple as it looks, because most training and marketing and most businesses that talk about unique selling propositions and value props, they kind of glaze over this and they miss the real big implication, and then they miss what you're trying to move away from. The beautiful part of this is that while some marketing addresses what you're moving away from, the pain, like stress-free real estate or stress-free senior living, or kind of abs without pain, or something like pain-free ab workouts, or they go and speak to what you're moving towards, like 7-figure business or something, or like stress-free living, or whatever their ultimate goal is. This accomplishes both. So let's break it down. I help, the first blank I want you to write down, a specific target avatar, not people, not small business owners, not, everyone on planet Earth. Just start with one. You might have multiple avatars. You were doing this exercise for one. So I help, let's say, bankruptcy lawyers. If you're a website designer and you're going towards one avatar, I help bankruptcy lawyers get more traffic and leads on their website. So again, what is their biggest goal or desire? Their immediate goal or desire. So they want more traffic and leads. So they can, what's that long-term dream or aspiration? So they can have the financial freedom to live the lives of their dreams. So they can have total financial freedom without, what are they trying to get away from? That is D, the fourth one. Without tech overwhelm, without wasted time or money. So let's think about that. I want you to really write this down for you and upload this into the membership site, and we'll use this on our coaching calls, but it's really important. If you're a personal trainer, if you're a kettlebell trainer, if you're an athletic trainer, instead of just saying like friends and clients at jacksonstrength.com, they're a strength training gym, they could say, I help people exercise, right? Or they could say, I help youth volleyball players with the strength, nutrition, and mindset they need so they can get a college volleyball scholarship without risk of losing out a spot, or without being one of the numbers that doesn't get accepted, or without rejection, right? There's no service I can't do this. If I'm a bankruptcy attorney, instead of saying I do bankruptcy law, I help Boston professionals, families get file bankruptcy quickly and easily so they can remove their financial and emotional stress and get a fresh financial start without spending a lot of time or money. And this goes on and on and on and on. Any type of business you do. So upload it, get it done. The last framework I want to talk about is your client transformation framework. This is not just a piece of paper or digital if you're looking at it as a PDF. This is your magic mojo sauce. I promise you, if I had to really spend time with you and really going deep on one framework or one thing that's going to determine your success, period, I mean this, it would be this framework. Well, because you have to have nailed the avatar stuff before in order to fill this out, and because this is going to drive everything you do. I want you to think about this. This is huge. Think about the difference between 8-Minute Abs and a book called Work Out Your Stomach. Think about a book called How to Not Be a Slob, or The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People. Think about the difference in success if I wrote a book called What You Should Be Eating, or The Zone Diet. This is everything. How well you can productize, package, and articulate your framework, the way you deliver services that's unique to anybody else, to take your clients from their frustrations to desires. So here's how you fill this out. Really important. A couple things that people often miss out, I really want to clarify here. The first thing I want you to do is not name it. There's a box that says your unique delivery framework is called. I don't want you to fill that out yet. That'll come at the end. I want you to list your number one client frustrations under A there. You could use the margin. That's why there's extra margin there. And it might be pain, suffering, loneliness, whatever that is for your business. And point B, where do you drop them off at? Every client that walks in your door, comes to your website, and uses your products or services starts off at condition A, point A, and you drop them off in a better place. What is that place? And this is the same thing we just covered in the avatar worksheet and your unique selling proposition. Where do you drop them off? Secondly, each of those lines and marks there, I want you to write down what steps or milestones you take. What are the steps? What would be the chapters of your book? What would be the sections of your webinar? This will be everything you do in marketing. I promise you that. What are the steps you use? Is it an audit? Is it an analysis? Is it a mapping, filing documentation, review? Is it, if you're a trainer, is it an initial kind of examination and audit, then the nutrition plan, exercise, strength training. Maybe if you're a lawyer, it's initial kind of mapping, financial mapping, finally by creating a roadmap, document preparation, final signing. What are the milestones? If you're a coach, if you're a college counselor, if you're a volleyball trainer, is it 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade? There's the steps that you should take over time. Is there a pre-med, med, post-med? I mean, whatever you provide, I need you to break it down into the core 3 or 4 milestones. There shouldn't be more than 5. There should not be less than 3. What are the main milestones that are part of your world, your ecosystem, your framework? Then for each of those, I want you to write down the name of it under each where it says steps and milestone, and what is the goal. So now we're going meta here. So we're saying we're going micro here, I should say. What we're doing is for each step. So step 1 is, say for personal training, it's like nutrition plan. Well, the goal is to eat a high calorie, high protein diet so you have more health and fuel. The frustrations of that. What are the frustrations just of that step, right? So we're doing the same thing we did for your overall business, your overall products, and now we're going deep. So what are the frustrations they have with their nutrition, and what's the transformation? So from maybe low energy to high performance athlete, that would be the transformation. Where are you trying to take them? And lastly, I want you to have your unique name. So this is really, really big, these 3 things. Number 1, listing all the milestones you take clients through. Number 2, giving a unique name to that. So instead of just saying client audit, have you said the 360 review? Now this sounds silly, but it means everything. That you can stand out as a market of one and have a total productized version of what you do. Think about the Fletcher method. If I just said the basics or get your stuff together, if I said your marketing foundation, every element from the perfect offer to the ninja nurture sequence to the floodgates, right? It all has its own unique naming convention. That means you're evaluating yourself in my world. You're growing your business based on my language, my framework that are unique. So you should do the same thing. This is really, really, really what's so important about this and funny about this is it usually takes people longer than they think, and it takes them a couple times to get this right. But then everything else you do is like zero drag. So when you go to outline your book, this is the template, literally. If you go to do a launch sequence to launch videos, guess what? Video 1, 2, 3, and 4. All of your marketing from here on out, this is so powerful. I really hope you're slowing down to do this right. All of your marketing from here on out is going to revolve around this whole transformation framework, how you take them from point A to point B, and the steps in between. These are blog post ideas. This is your speaking template, your webinar template. It's really the genesis and core of everything you do from here on out. And it's really the difference between 6, 7, and 8 figures. So the last thing I want you to do, once you fill this out and really articulate the steps that they go through from their biggest pain to their biggest outcome, their biggest dream or desire, I want you to name the whole thing. Now, I know Bob Britton, we talked about this, and yours is the automated entrepreneur framework or blueprint. You can have, like I have a client, Marisol, who is a fitness trainer and launching a platform just for really good avatar, Latina moms that want to get in shape. At first, she said, well, yeah, I want to be a woman. I want to get women in shape. Well, good luck with that. I want to help moms get in shape. Good luck with that. I want to help Latina moms get in shape. Bingo. Niching down is when you get super traction. So your unique framework should really, really speak to that and be very well articulated. Fill it out and upload it. So let's talk about, in closing here, a couple things. I want to hear, if you want to leave a comment below this video, why you think this is so profound. Do you understand that if you get this right, if you have a unique client transformation credo and a unique delivery framework, that everything else you do will fall into place? Every ad, web page, email becomes so much easier. Your competitors aren't willing to do this. That's what I want you to understand. Your competitors are 99.9% unlikely doing this. Okay, your homework. complete your avatar worksheets, the total market ecosystem, client transformation credo, client transformation framework. Upload those so we can look at them, give you feedback. And remember, you should be going through this whole exercise with one avatar in mind. So if you have multiple client types, if you're an injury lawyer that does auto accidents, dog bites, if you do different areas of law, if you're a chiropractor that serves both athletes and the elderly, I really want you just to do this for athletes, because your marketing campaign that you're going to launch should speak to one target avatar at a time. And then when you get profitability and traction there, then you add the others, not all at once. So everything you do will be based on this. Let's examine yours. And next up, we're going to talk about your funnel map. So the next training, we're going to take this and outline your money map, your funnel map, perfect funnel map actually, which is what are you going to build in order to get this thing live and to just get a kick-ass marketing system in place. So thanks so much. I really want you to take the time and do this. Everything else we're going to do is going to be shorter and easier because you've done the hard work up front. So congratulations on taking this step. Let me know in the community or on our next coaching call if you have any questions. Go rock and roll. Take care.